We've seen this week, the State Department announced they're revoking the visas of 8 different people who committed the crime of posting on social media something unflattering about Charlie Kirk. Again, that runs counter to our free speech beliefs. And I'm interested in, the degree to which these things resonate. But just to take it a step further, I mentioned my wife from Ypsilanti. Her mother teaches English as a second language in the schools of Ypsilanti. There are a lot of kids there from all over the world. And they're terrified of going out, going to church, of going shopping, of driving in case somebody says they have a broken taillight, because of the invasion, not of some foreign power, but of ICE, a bunch of untrained sort of folks populating, masked throngs of ICE going into these cities. And I'm wondering, how is there a backlash against that?
Well, it's interesting. We've been hearing that, of course, Ypsilanti, but lots of areas of the state. West side of the state of Michigan has a large Latino population. I went to the Hispanic Festival in August in Grand Rapids. It was half the size that it was the year before because people are just scared to be in a place where they know, law enforcement knows, there's lots of Latinos. And these are American citizens and immigrants. I mean, both. Mexican restaurants are seeing a real dip in their sales. People are just scared to go to that restaurant. I mean, I think, and certainly I've heard the stories of American citizens, of Mexican descent or from somewhere else, who are carrying their American passports with them in case they ever got pulled over. That kind of use of fear as a weapon is, to me, again, part of this un-American set of values that's being implemented. And what I find is that a lot of people who may have even supported the president, voted for him, will say well, I don't want my local people treated like that, right? These are folks who work in my community. They go to school in my community. They work on the farm that I own, and whatever it is, they're not here, right? That might work for someone else, but it doesn't make sense here, and I don't like hearing that my neighbors are terrified. So again, I think at least in a place like Michigan, where people have sort of those common sense, good values, there is a real abhorrence of the look and feel of authoritarianism. Now, what they're willing to do about it is a different question, and I think that's coming to a theater near us. If it comes to so many communities, so many places we hold dear, how do people react? As allies. That's yet to be seen, but it is definitely something that is happening across certainly the state of Michigan, but I know across the country.
Well, we all of us, particularly those of us who spend a lot of time in Washington, run into consultants, and they're always giving these kind of brilliant ideas of what people should do or not do to win elections. And often I'll hear people say, well, democracy, that doesn't resonate with people. That's abstract. The rule of law is abstract to people. But seeing your neighbor get dragged away is not abstract, just like losing your health care is not abstract. And that's just what I'm talking about when I talk about consequences. Democrats get criticized for seeming weak on these issues. And yet there does seem to be a little movement, of which you are a leader, where, there was a group of you who came into the Congress, and now one of you is about to become governor of Virginia, and another one's about to, I hope, become the governor of my home state, New Jersey. And there's you, who are women who came out of national security, who talk about strength. And it's not that you're winning races necessarily because you worked in Iraq or you were, Assistant Secretary of Defense, but because Americans want leaders who are strong because they believe they can fix the problems. And so, and if you say I'm strong and you're not, just like you say I'm a change agent and you're coming from a long line of special interests, it just doesn't scan. But if you come from a background like yours or Abigail Spanberger's, whatever, you don't have to say it. People know it. And I'm wondering whether that's, you think, going to infuse Democrats and can be used to turn the tide here politically in this country.